Thank you so much. Let me start off with this. Um, Let me start off with thanking Tilakchand Bhai for this visionary thought of bringing our community together and kind of getting to the next step. How can we propel? We are good as a community. How can we be great? Right? And I walked in, I think this was about 4 months back, Tilakchand Bhai, and we were kind of brainstorming what can we do, how can we do this better. He was very focused on one thought. I want to make this particular conference very professional so that people can come here in a business kind of an environment, listen to renowned speakers, and get something out of it. And I walked in and I see arrangements are impeccable, awesome, awesome speakers, and great audience. So for all this committee who has put this thing together, let's give a round of applause. Thanks to the speakers before me, Satyam and Rishi, they have actually set it up very well of what I am going to talk about. There'll be a little bit of repetition, but what I'm going to do is association by bringing it home of how some of these current trends in IT are applicable for us as a community. So let's take a look at this. Every 60 seconds, this is what is happening in the world. There's about 2.5 million searches going on, about 15,000 songs being uploaded, 60,000 photos being uploaded, the amount of Facebook likes, blah, blah, blah. Every 60 seconds this is happening. The world is changing, shifting. Imagine once I'm done with my presentation, the world would have shifted. By the time we are done with the conference, it would have shifted even more. Let's do a quick trivia. Which is the world's largest company that does not own any vehicles? Uber. World's most popular media owner does not create any content. Facebook. Facebook does not create any content. You and me create content for Facebook. Which is the most valuable retailer that does not have any inventory? Alibaba, right? And last, which is the world's largest accommodation provider who owns no real estate? Airbnb, right? What I am pointing towards is the paradigms are shifting. We are at a tectonic shift in how things are happening, and technology is changing the way we are doing it, right? We're moving into these effects, what I call as either a Google effect or an Amazon Flipkart effect or a Skype effect and so forth. In the 90s, when I went to the US, a phone call home was extremely expensive. What Skype has done is inversely changed that. Communication is almost free now. Mind you, and the speaker before me also alluded to that, Flipkart and Amazon know a lot more about you than your family and friends, probably more than what your wife knows about you, right? They are tracking your habits. They have all the data about what you buy, where you go, where you travel, what you spend on. They know all of this. And all of this information is currently being channeled into either advertising, either a good user experience, and whatnot, right? Facebook is digitizing relationships. Long lost friends from school, from college suddenly pop up, and you are now in touch with them, and the whole thing is digitizing it. So these paradigms are fundamentally shifting how we do business. These paradigms are shifting how we think. Now, we as a community, are we tapping into this power? That is what I want to get into. So before I get into the topic, a little bit about myself. A quick journey. I'm from Kutch, Nalia, born and brought up in Sangli though. Did my engineering, went to the US in 95. Worked with consulting companies like IBM, PwC, and a lot of other clients. About 2012 is when the Swadesh bug bit me. So the reverse train happened. Was with Microsoft. I'm sorry I didn't update this, for about 3 years as an IT director, and recently have joined another company in Chennai as a senior vice president technology as the head of their operations. And this is my wonderful family. As I said, I like to spend a lot of time with them. So let's get into the topic. I'm going to talk about two things today. One is what are the current trends in IT? And some of the speakers have alluded to it or even deep dived into it. I won't repeat it for you. And the second part of the presentation, what I'll do is I will bring it home from my limited experience of how we as a community do business, trade, or are in the services industry, how we can make it real. So let's look at the 4 trends that will dominate this decade. They're already dominating in my view, or the next decade. These are mobile, social, analytics, and cloud. In short, in the IT phrase, they are called as SMAC, for social, mobile, analytics, and cloud. But all 4 of them are currently the hottest trends. What is different about these trends? In the past, technology trends were monolithic, they were single. You had a mainframe trend that lasted for a certain amount of years. Then we moved to client server, that lasted for a certain amount of years. What these trends are doing are 2 things very differently. They are all interconnected, and all of them are happening simultaneously. So, if you're thinking about a business or how your business can benefit from these trends, or if you want to get into a new business, you cannot think of one over the another. Think of all of them, how all of them can help you. You could pick 1 or 2 as your primary, like Flipkart is primarily mobile, but you also think about all the other trends. Let's double click on each one of this. Now just some stats about how these trends are actually dominating. About 85 billion apps have already been downloaded. The digital content is now about 2.7 zettabytes, and it's growing at a massive rate. And quite a few CIOs are now preferring cloud as their preferred infrastructure over the regular ones. Let's double click into each one of these. Mobile, I don't want to go any deeper than what Satyam did. He did a great job kind of helping us understand how mobile is helping us getting deeper and deeper with that customer engagement, right? For example, way back, I remember when I had to buy a railway ticket, right? I had to go to that ticket office. I didn't even know whether I will have seats or not. You go ahead, you take that paper, you fill the form, hope that your number will come in the line, you get the ticket, and then you get it, right? And it used to be, I mean, you felt really victorious after that 3 hours that, oh, I got a ticket, right? How has it changed? Right now, all I do, I trigger my IRCTC app on my phone. It already has all my information of my frequent trains that I take, of the families that they travel and whatnot. Probably like 4 or 5 clicks later, I'm done. And it doesn't stop there. It actually also kind of gives me information after that, that probably your travel is coming up. I can use it to show the ticket master and all of that, right? Let's bring it home. How many of you use the KDO Vastipatrak, the app, right? Look at all the hands. It is an awesome, awesome app, a very simplified app, but not only it gives us information about the birth dates, the marriages, the deaths, etc. What I love about that app is the integrity of that network, the connectivity of that network. I mean, never before I have found that, oh my God, I'm related to this person in this way. Anu a, and that's why you're related to that person, right? I mean, it's just how it's bringing our community together, right? Little bit of stats, again, a little bit of repetition probably, but I want to emphasize on how mobile devices is what is the biggest trend in here. PCs is going to be stagnant, tablets is growing probably at a decent pace, but by 2017, and probably this is a little bit old stat, we will have about 2 billion handsets. But what is more important is the connectivity of devices. So all the Internet of Things, where a device is connected to a device, not a human to a device, that has already surpassed the human population. So that is how rapidly this is going. So to make it relevant, if you are thinking about a couple of things, if you're thinking about getting your business, your service on mobile, or if you're thinking about getting something new, starting a new venture on mobile, think about this. The value of a service is only realized when a device consumes the service. So when you're going to be looking at what service you're going to create on the mobile, make sure you're looking at all the devices, an Android, an iPhone, and Windows, a BlackBerry, or whatnot. And then you can kind of categorize it and saying that, okay, maybe my segmentation is this particular market, and it's heavy on Android. Probably you can go Android first, but don't ignore the other devices. Inversely, the value of a device is magnified by the service it consumes. A very good example is the Windows Mobile. It did not pick up, and it's still struggling in the market because there's not enough services that are helping that particular device. So in a nutshell, devices plus your services and apps, that is the new future of IT. And is your business tapping into that power? That's the thought I want you guys to live with, saying that, okay, am I doing enough and whatnot? Let's move to the next trend, social. How many of us use Facebook? Probably 100%. Well, it's good, close to 80%. We are using social in a lot of ways. One is, of course, to keep in touch. One is, of course, to communicate that I'm at a certain location, I'm traveling, blah, blah, blah. One is getting closer to some of the relationship that were lost because of whatever, because of time, because you didn't get time or whatnot. So you're getting connected to those old friends, old families, and whatnot. But social is very, very important right now, where the businesses are looking at it, right? The recent stat, 40% of consumers are now, whenever they don't like a product or a service, the grievances are on social. What happens with social is this becomes viral very fast, and trust me, that product is doomed once there is something going wrong with that. 14% people today are the only ones who are now looking at your traditional ways of advertising, your television, your newspaper, and whatnot. Lot of big businesses have their own Facebook pages to kind of two things. One is, of course, marketing, but to understand what does the customer want. What are the trends that the customer is going after, and get in front of that trend and try to help out. Another misconception is this demographics. Sometimes people think it is probably a little bit male-oriented. A lot of people say social is only for teenagers, it's not for us and whatnot. Nope, that's not the truth. Look at the demographics. Very evenly divided between males and females, but more importantly, look at the age group. It's equally divided within teenagers from the age group of, say, 20 to 35 and all the way up to the 40s. But even beyond that, and I'm proud to say, my dad is an avid user of Facebook, avid user of social, avid user of all of that. So when you are thinking about getting your business, don't make that mistake of saying that, okay, because I think only teenagers are on social, it doesn't make sense to put my business there. That is not true. There's everybody that is on social. So just to bring it back home, why would you use it? Connect with the colleagues in real time, becoming more engaged, as I said, deeper into the customer engagement, and gaining insights of what the customers are saying. If they're saying something good about the product, well and good. If there's something bad about the product, react to it, do some course correction. Let's move to the next trend. Cloud. Honestly, how many people in this room really know the cloud? Okay, I'm seeing probably 50-50. So probably I have an opportunity to kind of demystify what the cloud is. Let me take an analogy. It's a hot summer day in May, and you know that you're going to be running your air conditioner probably 24/7, probably for the whole next couple of months and whatnot. Do you go to the electricity company in April and say, I'm going to consume a little bit more electricity? Sir, please make sure I get that, and if you want, I'll pay in advance. Do you go buy more generators or buy more equipment so that it will work out? No, you don't. Same thing is with water. When you want more water, it's not like, okay, for this 2 months I'm going to need more water, so I'm going to build a storage tank. What you do is, if it's hot, you turn on the AC, the electricity gets consumed, and you pay whatever you used for. When you don't want it, in the winter time, you don't use, and you pay for what you do. Now think about this analogy, and think about computing now. As electricity is an utility, think about computing as an utility. I want to start my business right now, and I want a very quick, small setup of a server, some storage, some RAM, and some networking. As my business grows, I want to now scale up. Now, do I have to buy more servers? Do I have to buy more storage? Do I have to buy more equipment? Do I have to make that capital investment in that? And if things go wrong, what will happen with that equipment, right? It'll just sit there idle. Am I using 100% of that equipment that I have bought? Probably not. So when you think about electricity as a utility or computing now as a utility, that is what cloud brings to the table. The cloud allows you few things. It's on demand, it's self-service, it's like electricity. If I want more computing power, I get it. If I don't want it, I don't use it. It's a pooled resource. So if I'm going to use only 20%, like what Netflix does on weekdays, it just uses probably 20-30% of its capacity. And probably on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, it just spikes up. So I only pay for what I'm using. It's very scalable. I can go up and go down. And it's kind of a measured service. So then I'm paying whatever I'm using. So that is what is cloud. Now, how can we in this room use cloud, right? Primarily for all of us wannabe startups, entrepreneurs, this is the platform that will get you up and running with minimal or no cost, right? You can go kind of try out an Amazon or a Microsoft Azure cloud. You can quickly have your idea, try the proof of concept, whether it's working, it's sticking, it's not sticking, and then you can use the other trends. You can use social for marketing, you can use mobile, and within a month or a couple of months, your idea is out there. Now you can think about, okay, is it picking up? Do I need to do course correction? Do I need to go in a different direction? And all of that. And once it's up and running, now you can use, when you want to scale up, you can use more services that you need from the cloud. And that's how this will be very, very relevant to all of you who want to become that startup entrepreneur. So previously what used to happen was there used to be a trade-off between cost and business agility, right? If I want to be more agile, I have to get more computing power, which means my cost is increasing. With cloud, this ensures that IT is plentiful and cheap because it's a pooled resource if you want it to be. Next thing is for all the wannabes who are at that stage who want a career in IT, this is a very new skill that is highly, highly demand. So cloud computing is something that I would highly, highly recommend for all of you who want a career in IT. Let's move on to the last trend, which is analytics. Our friend touched a little bit on it. We all know we are creating huge amount of data, knowingly or unknowingly. Every Facebook status update, every photo that you post, every WhatsApp message, every photo that you post on WhatsApp, we were doing the YouTube. This is going to be going on YouTube pretty soon. There is so much amount of data that we are creating. All data is very interesting, but when you get an insight on that data, that is what is a game changer. And that is where we want to go to find out that all of this unstructured data, can we harness that, get some information out of it, and make it actionable, right? For example, what Walmart did, where they have been tracking all their customer habits who come into the store, and they found out on Friday, incidentally, the sale of diapers go up, along with liquor also, but they were focused on the diapers. So what they did was not only stock a lot more diapers, but they made it more accessible. Instead of just the diaper lane, when you are going to your grocery part of it or when you're going to checkout, they made it more accessible. So the sales of diaper goes up, and they are able to make this insight more profitable for themselves. So think about your businesses. Is there something that you can use as far as analytics is concerned to propel your business? I have a few examples when we go into the next stage to kind of bring it home. So these are the few areas where analytics is being used: fraud detection, weather forecasting, churn analysis, social network analysis. But targeted advertising is also big. And this is pretty much when I made that statement that all these online entities know a lot more about you. Your credit cards, your Flipkarts, your Facebook, they know all your habits. And I don't know about you, but a lot of times I go to my Google Mail or Yahoo Mail, and there is a small advertisement on the side, which is something relevant that I wanted. I'm like, how did this guy know this is what I wanted? That is what is going on the background. These people are churning all this data, finding your habits, and then targeting that advertising for you. Who is using big data? A lot of financial industries using big data, a lot of IT industries using big data. Government is using a lot of big data, not just to make them efficient or whatnot, but a lot of information that goes in around fraud detection and some of the terrorism activities and all of that. And more or less, people are saying, the companies are saying it's about increases your efficiency almost twice. But the big thing is, because there is so much of unstructured data that now you can bring home, you can start making sense out of it almost real time. The decision-making power has increased. So you are pretty much real-time taking decisions and accelerating your business. A couple of quick examples. There's a company called Nest. What they did was they created a small appliance that sits in your home, and it connects to all your electrical appliances, your air conditioners, your washing machine, your dryers, and televisions, and whatnot. So similar example where you're coming home on a hot day, and you want to make sure that when you go home, it has the right temperature. You can invoke your app and turn on the air conditioner. You forgot to turn off your washing machine, you can do that now on the app. So things are fundamentally changing how we are interacting with all these machines, right? And of course, this idea, Google loved this idea. I think they bought this company for like $7 billion or something. Think about this, a virtual dentist. So this company has created a toothbrush which tracks not only your brushing habits, but also sends information about what is your plaque, how much tartar do you have, and whatnot. Now this information goes to your app. This information can be sent to your dentist. You don't need to go to your dentist anymore. The dentist can say that, okay, these are the few things or the few differences that you can do. Other application that I can think of is all the parents in this house who have young kids, wouldn't they love it to know whether their kids are brushing their teeth or not? So where I'm going with this is things are changing, so your mindset has to be very, very different now on how you think about your business. So we have to, given these trends, we have to start rethinking and evolving our strategies around how are we going to use it, not to just save money, be more efficient, and make a difference. And how can our KDO community harness this power and take it to the next level? So I'm going to now switch gears and kind of bring it home for the KDO community. Did a little bit of research, talked to a few people on what could be certain applications. These are the 5 areas I thought would be relevant. I'm sure, given my limited experience, there is a lot more out there. And I would encourage these kind of forums where you're networking, you're meeting a lot of different people who are doing a lot of different things. Kind of network, understand what they're doing, understand, kind of share what you're doing, connect, and kind of take it to the next step, right? So let's look at a couple of them, like finance and education. Finance, pretty much all of us are very well versed with what is happening in finance. I don't even remember the last time. All the transactions are pretty much online, but even for your businesses, you can find out what's the credit worthiness of your partners. There's an increased security for payments, and then there is less cash that is exchanging hands. So it's definitely a lot more secure of what is happening in the finance world. Education, and Satyam also alluded to that, it's fundamentally changing. If you haven't paid attention to, I really, really urge you to do that on 2 levels. One, as a consumer, more so as an entrepreneur. This area has a lot of opportunities in there. Because of these IT trends, what has happened is education has become anytime, anywhere. No longer am I bound to a classroom, no longer I'm bound to a location. The physical resources are going away. Access to the best of the education is easily available. So for example, and I think Sal Khan from the US, who started Khan Academy, I think the credit should go to him for completely flipping how education is. His mantra was, education should be done at home, where you're learning a concept, and you should be able to do repetitive learning until you get that concept. And then you go to school and apply that concept, talk to your teachers, talk to your friends, and understand whatever the gaps are, right? So what he did was he created quick videos about maths and science, and now he has a huge library of videos from any topic, mainly around the K-12 education. If you haven't gone to Coursera or EDX, there is huge amount of information there where you can do your microeconomics, to your biotechnology, to your human sciences, programming, what have you, from the best resources in the world. When I did a recent macroeconomics course from a professor in Michigan Institute of Technology. There is Harvard, there is Oxford, all of these guys are putting their content there to be consumed. So what has happened is information and knowledge, they have become a common denominator. No longer you have an excuse, like in the past, people with information were kings. Now this is a common denominator. You can go to Google and get any information you want. You can go to any of these learning portals. You can get all the knowledge that you want. What are you going to do to differentiate? That is where you need to think. You can no longer say that I am more educated than this, or have more information than this particular business or a person. That's why it becomes successful. No, everybody has equal access to it. So think about, how do you personalize? How do you bring your deep domain knowledge into this and start making that difference? And as I said, this field is very, very hot and ripe for a startup kind of a thing, because the ecosystem is already there. There's a lot of platforms that you can use if you have a great idea for education. Next one is agriculture. I was discussing this with Kumar yesterday. There's certain things that you can do, right? You can probably get some trending about how the weather has been. What is the yield of crop that has been? What are certain commodities that are selling more or less? We are all moving towards a healthy organic lifestyle. Does it mean that white rice is going to go less and brown rice is going to get more? Get all this information, and these portals allow you to get that information, and now you can get in front of that particular trend and do those changes to your business. There's a lot that is done, like Reuters. What they do is they have given an SMS-based phone to all the farmers, because at least that is the minimum thing that pretty much everybody in this country has. And then they send out quick SMSs about weather information, product information, soil information, some of the market prices, and all of that. And they have enabled all these farmers to kind of get it to the next level. The other industry that I highly, highly urge you to look at is healthcare. Apart from one example that Satyam gave, telemedicine is something that is becoming very, very big. Now think about this scenario. You are in a remote village where you don't have access to the greatest physicians or even a good physician. How are you going to get medical help? Now if you were able to put a kiosk in that village and use the video conferencing facility, and then there's companies in Bangalore that have these quick cards for probably like 5 to 10,000, which get your vitals, your blood pressure, it has a stethoscope and all of that. Transmit that information to a physician who is sitting in an urban area and get the diagnosis done, right? It's a win-win on both the sides. Win-win for the doctor because he doesn't have to go anywhere physically, and in his free time, he's able to utilize, be more efficient. And for the person in that rural area, he gets the best of the medical help, right? So I definitely urge you to kind of think of how you can, if you have a deep domain knowledge in healthcare, how you can think about the next startup, right? We have Practo, we have Dr. C, we have Liberate, who are trying to do small things. Practo is trying to connect a doctor to a patient. Dr. C is trying to see how you can get all your diagnostic. It's aggregating all the diagnostics. So is Liberate. Can you, with your expert domain knowledge, penetrate this particular healthcare industry? Think about that. It's a huge, huge opportunity that we are sitting on. Last but not the least is the careers. As I started with my first slide, technology is driving a lot of innovation. I mean, I would go ahead and say that technology is driving most of the innovation today, right? So don't discount technology. IT careers are still very, very hot, and these are some of the areas where you can tap into what is currently hot in the IT area. And these are some of the stats. In 2015, the 15 best paying jobs, 4 of them were from IT. I'm not trying to sell IT here. What I'm trying to do is kind of make everybody aware that without technology, propelling yourself, propelling your business, going to that next mile is almost going to be impossible. For the question that Lalit asked earlier, there is a lot of disruption happening. I mean, are we stealing somebody else's lunch? To some extent, maybe we are. But if we don't retool ourselves, if we don't change our mindset, the world is right now the Darwin's theory. It is the survival of the fittest. So you have to kind of move to that. Quickly, let's bring it home. I have 3 examples here. You heard to the easy eat foods guys yesterday, right? What a novel concept, right? Midnight, I'm hungry, or I'm traveling, or something like that. I'm not in a mood to cook something. I want something quick, but I want something healthy. I want the nutrition content to be intact when I'm eating that. These guys have an amazing idea where all you need is hot water, put that thing in there, in 2 minutes you're ready. Hardik, are you in the room? Hardik, can you just in 30 seconds help the audience understand, how are you using some of these social or some of these mobile things to kind of accelerate your business?
Thank you. Being a startup, our resources are very finite and limited. So we need to think of a lean marketing strategy which is going to directly hit our consumers, the niche market that we are planning to sell to. And I think social, the SMAG theory, social, mobile, analytics, and cloud is going to help us with the minimum resources that we have to hit the customer and consumer to the place where we want. So by using Facebook, social, and all other techniques, I think we can directly tell our customer what we want rather than the traditional techniques to not know how many customers actually we are looking at. Similarly, we can use cloud and analytics to know who is hungry in the night, who wants to eat what,
Right.
who wants to eat a pav bhaji, who wants to eat a pizza, who wants to eat noodles, or who wants to eat a poha. So similarly, using these techniques and technology, we can get the maximum output from the minimum resources that we have.
Great, thank you. What I would like to emphasize on there is the word he used is minimal resources and how he can use social for marketing, right? So people are using it right now. Think about how you can use it. Let me take another example of cotton trading. I was discussing this with Kumar Ba. He's very experienced cotton trader, and then some of his friends who have also traveled from Coimbatore. And these guys have also harnessed the power of IT. Like what Kumar Ba used to do, or his earlier generation used to have to be physically everywhere to kind of understand what the crop is, what the stocks are, and be a little bit inefficient because the tools were not available. What he has gone ahead and done, first of all, he has an application that tracks not just his finances, but all his stocks, all his inventory. And right now, he's an anytime, anywhere kind of a person. I'm sure right now he's transacting into cotton sitting in this room, right? The other thing that he has done, he has his own Facebook page. What did he do with that Facebook page is he started with giving information. He started with his experience, his knowledge of what the trends are, what the market prices are, how does the yield look like this year, and all that amazing information that anybody can consume and take some decisions. And slowly it grows where people are now trusting that information because it's coming from an experienced provider. And all of that has translated into a little bit more of business for him. He didn't start that with in mind, but he's tapping into the power of IT, right? One of his friends, Hiren, I was talking to him yesterday, and he's done an amazing, amazing thing. And again, it was mainly for simplifying his life. What he has created is, he's created a quick mobile app which is a marketplace for a supplier and a buyer. So all the suppliers come into his app, all the buyers come into his app, and then the trading happens. And then he's enabled them to become more efficient. Now, if you can do it for cotton, then it's trading platforms. So why can't you do it for turmeric? Why can't you do it for pardan? Why can't you do it for any other, right? So this is how people are using it. And that's what I was urging it. What can you do next is why don't you create a robust trading platform, and that becomes an innovative idea to go to the next level, right? The last example I want to call out is my cousin who is in the audience also. He's into digital, he works with a digital advertising company, but he uses all these trends. in a very, very different way. Keval, are you in the room? Right. Can you just quickly in 30 seconds help me, because they're giving me the 1-minute warning, just to help understand how are you using some of these trends?
Check. So I have a passion for photography. I have a passion for making films. I have a passion for making music. So what better channel than social media? How I share it with people. First 3 things, most important, connectivity. Second thing, shareability. Third thing, branding and your personality development. These are the 3 major things where social media can actually bring you up on a platform where you've never imagined. All of a sudden, one night you feel like, okay, I want this person's number. You will not disturb him in the night, right? By calling, okay, can you please give me his contact number? But rather, Facebook or some other social media platform will help you reach him, drop him a message, because I'm sure 90% of the people are on Facebook or some of the other social media platform here. Directly it's that simple, just one click away. You shoot the question to him, and how I promote is by shooting to the particular communities. I know where's my market. I know who is my customer or who is watching me or what is my reach. I also get to analyze, because all the social media platforms give me that option as well. Okay, where am I going down? Where am I going up? And what was the mistake I did last week or the last month? Another thing is how social media can quickly share your content on various platforms by one single click. If you go on YouTube, most of us, we watch videos. You don't know that you have shared it on your Facebook and million other people are watching it. You didn't know who's going to watch, who's going to click, who's going to like, and where is he going to share it further. So the power of that is amazing.
All right, great, thank you. So what he's doing is, he's absolutely using the power of it, but he's also using it towards a branding approach. He's creating Keval Chheda as a brand. What does Keval Chheda as a brand mean? He's a photographer. He's into a lot of this social marketing and stuff like that, and he's creating that value. When somebody looks at Keval Chheda, he can portray it as a brand. So mind you, he's the most eligible bachelor right now.
I just want to add one small thing. Social media is powerful in both the sides, in helping you bring on the top and kicking you back to the down floor again by one wrong status update, or by trying to do something that you have no sense of. So you have to be very careful of this media. This is not like a direct communication, but you are communicating to a mass audience here. And it could be anybody who could just bump into someone's profile and check, okay, this guy literally wrote something about me on his profile. I'm going to sue his case.
All right. Okay. Thanks, Keval. So let's bring it to conclusion. These 4 trends, as I said, are definitely kind of changing the world that we look at, and this is how we can apply. Let me end with a story, right? We all know about the great Narsinatha, who came to Mumbai in the 19th century after all the hardships in Kutch. He started with what I've been told is just good and dhana in his pocket. And because of his adaptability, because of his loyalty, because of his hard-working attitude, he was able to create a cotton empire, right? Even today, he's revered as one of the most respected KDO in the world, right? He didn't only do that. He was very philanthropic. He got the community along with him also. It's not just him. A lot of Kutchis, either due to earthquake, famines, Mughal invasion, whatever it is, right? We have spread out across the world. So the few qualities that stand out for me as a Kutchi, for us as a group, is we are loyal. We are known for that. We are hardworking. We are adaptable. You put me in Antarctica, I'll function there. What is a little bit of difference is, do we have that risk-taking ability? And thanks, Kumarba, for brainstorming this with me. Are we able to create that entrepreneur? We have a lot of successful businessmen in this room. We have a lot of successful traders in this room. Why do we have limited entrepreneurs? Is it the risk-taking capability that is putting us back? And if that is the case, why don't we use the power of IT? How does it help us now? Because in the past, risk-taking was sometimes, because of lack of information, lack of knowledge, you had to go blindfolded and see if things will work out. Now, if you use these powers, you can try out your idea. You can test it. You can kind of vet it out with a lot of people, a lot of mentors, and make it happen. So let's reinvent ourselves. Let's be game changers. Thank you.